Good morning, this is your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. Seeing some wet and windy conditions out there this morning as winds have overachieved that area of low pressure center just south of the Wallops area. Seeing peak winds up around 33 to 34 knots. And we are currently in a wind advisory. Likely see that wind advisory through much, if not all, of the day today. Otherwise, should see that rain start to taper down as far as widespread rain as we continue through the morning hours. We can't rule out a light drizzle or light shower as we move through the day today. If we take a look at our current surface analysis, have that area of low pressure at the center just south of the Wallops area. That's why we're seeing those strongest winds right now. That area of low pressure is going to move off to the east-northeast and set a little further off the coast as we move through the day today. That's going to allow those winds to lighten up just a bit, not quite as strong as what we're seeing right now, and we'll see a more northeasterly to north-northeasterly shift in the winds as we get later in the day today and get on that western side of the area of low pressure. If we look at current conditions, we see an overcast deck around 500 feet, reduced visibility is down to 2.5 miles, and light rain being observed out there, and winds out of the northeast, 23 knots sustained, gusting up to 31 knots in the latest OB, seeing our temperature around 61 degrees and relative humidity is at 93%. If we look at our local radar picture here, we could see bulk of the reflectivity starting to move out of the area or just below the radar beam here. So still seeing some light rain over the Wallops area. Should see most of that gradually start to clear out again as we go through the morning hours, but can't rule out some light drizzle or maybe a light shower here or there as we move through the next 24 hours. If we look at the current visible satellite with the composite radar on there, zoomed out a bit, we can see the spin of that area of low pressure just south of Wallops. It's going to get, again, continue tracking east-northeastward off the coast. Not much precip to the south and behind that, so expecting, again, things to start drying out a bit, but could see some light drizzle with the low clouds around it in the area. If we look at a short-term high-resolution models, see how things play out over the next couple of days. Again, as we progress through the morning, we'll start to see most of that rain continue to lift north of the Wallops area, with rain still lingering at points north on the peninsula. Otherwise, getting into the afternoon hours, things looking mainly dry, but again, can't rule out that slight chance of an isolated shower, maybe a light sprinkle or drizzle with some low clouds around as we continue through the day. And into the evening hours, much of the same story. We'll keep some low clouds around and slight chance of some light drizzle here or there across the area. As we get into the day on Thursday, overall things looking mainly dry. We'll see a very slight chance of maybe a light shower or sprinkle continue as we move through the day on Thursday, as we will see some low clouds lingering around, possibly a few breaks in the clouds, but overall cloudy conditions. We'll see another slightly breezy day as that area of low pressure continues to linger off the coast. So we'll see winds more out of the north as we go through the day on Thursday, slightly breezy. We'll see those winds slowly start to relax as we go overnight and into our day on Friday. With dry conditions expected, continued cloudiness, and as we get into the day on Friday, we'll stay mostly cloudy to overcast, but could see a bit more in the way of sun as we move through the day on Friday. So looking at our 24-hour weather risk chart for today, we do have that red risk for precip this morning and red for those winds that are above 25 knots. Obviously, we're seeing those winds far exceed that at this time. We are currently in that wind advisory, and we are seeing some light rain out there. And orange risk for those reduced ceilings, just borderline with that 500-foot level. As we go through the day today, again, expecting those ceilings to rise slightly as we get into the afternoon to around 1,000 feet, and we'll see the widespread rain start diminishing, and we'll see our temperatures climbing up into the mid-60s, expecting a high around 66 degrees. We'll see those winds lighten up slightly, but still staying breezy out of the north-northeast, 12 to 17 knots, gusting up to 26 knots, and then a bit more northerly as we get into the afternoon hours with our peak winds around 24 knots. So keeping that orange risk for those elevated winds through the afternoon hours as well as into the late afternoon, early evening hours. Going through the overnight time frame, we'll see our ceiling right around 1,000 to 1,500 feet. As we move through the afternoon, we'll see a slight chance of that light rain continuing through the area And then that continues as we go into the evening time frame. We'll see those ceilings back down around 1,000 to 800 feet with a chance of some light drizzle through the overnight. So keeping that yellow risk for precip over the next 24 hours. And we'll keep a slight breeze through the evening as well out of the north-northwest, 9 to 14 knots. And allowing temperatures to fall down to around 57 degrees for our Thursday morning. And then getting into the start of the day on Thursday, we'll see those winds becoming gustier again with the peak winds up around 19 knots. We do keep that yellow risk for those reduced ceilings as we move through the overnight time frame as well, with those low clouds and a slight chance of a light drizzle. Right now, tides are running about a foot above normal, and for the next couple of days, we'll see a mostly cloudy to overcast day for our Thursday, and looking at breezy conditions expected. Again, keeping that orange risk for those winds at or above 25 knots as we get into the day on Thursday. Could see those peak wind gusts approaching that level, getting close to that. So decent chance we see a wind advisory for our Thursday. Otherwise, we'll see a very slight to slight chance of a light shower pushing through the area as that area of low pressure still lingers off the coast, and we continue to see some low clouds around the area. So not quite a high enough percentage to initiate a yellow risk here, but nonetheless still a slight chance of a light shower through the area, and won't be widespread like we saw over the last 24 hours. So looking at a high around 69 for our Thursday. Going into Thursday evening, we'll see mostly cloudy to overcast conditions continue. We'll have another chance of some low clouds or lower ceilings around the area, so we do have that yellow risk for those reduced ceilings for Thursday evening and Friday morning. Expecting a low once again around 57 degrees, but overall expecting dry conditions. And then dry conditions continue as we go into Friday. We'll see mostly cloudy to overcast conditions continue. Better chance of seeing some additional sunshine on Friday or some breaks in the clouds on Friday, but otherwise expecting a high around 68 degrees. Green conditions expected for our weather risk, as those winds should not be as elevated as what we see today and tomorrow, more out of the northeast, keeping things a little bit cooler. But otherwise, that's going to wrap up the 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. We'll be back again at 10 a.m. to take a look at the extended forecast. Enjoy your morning.